You like that? You like my chunky little wave? You like this? It's like you ever see like the heartbeat monitor things that kind of but this is like if it's like squared off and it's like oh, I guess that's not good for the audio listeners. I'll try. Let's start again. Doing the wave. Episode 13. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 13 of Get Up with Josh Dohy. That's me. I am your host. And I have some amazing news. If you're not already listening on Spotify, YouTube audience, check it out. I am now on Spotify. That is so freaking cool because I thought that it would be enough for people to watch this, to consume it on YouTube. But then I realized that like most people don't actually watch their podcasts on YouTube. Like most people, they consume podcasts on like Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever. Like I don't think I ever would have gotten into podcasts if I started in the YouTube sphere. I don't even, does that make sense? I guess because like, I don't know, you look at like a long, you look at a long YouTube video and you're like, oh, fuck that dude. Like, I don't want to sit through 46 minutes of this guy talking about pee pee poo poo. I've got better things to do. I can go pee pee poo poo myself. I could do the dishes for once. You know, I could go somewhere on time. I could jump in a car. I could go somewhere and return. But sitting down and watching a video 46 minutes? No. But put that shit on Spotify and they are taking that to the bank. And everywhere else. They're taking it to the coffee shop. I have two fingers up in the air, but this is our first example. We're going to keep going with this. And also, I'm gonna try and be mindful of our audio-only listeners, even though there probably will be some strictly visual-only jokes. As if there's like jokes in this period. Like I'm not some genius scientist joke writer with a huge brain who's gonna usher down aliens using telecommunications because I was descended from some planet. I'm not a gift to humanity. I'm just human. Okay? So stop coming to me and telling me that. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's coming to me and telling me I'm a gift to humanity. So that's that. But point being is we are now on Spotify. That is so awesome. So hopefully we will have maybe one or two more listeners to add on to our group of 8. And everybody who is watching right now, we are a small, tight-knit audience. I say we because I also watch these episodes. I guess I watch them on repeat because I edit them as well. Anyway, we are a family. We are the Get Up family. Together we are getting it up. We're like a gay orgy where we're all kind of standing in a circle and our dicks get hard and we're all getting it up together. And that's actually kind of where I got the name of the podcast. Was like I was thinking like Get Up. Okay, so you know some of the stuff I say is like motivational, I guess, and then a lot of it is just toilet humor, complete nonsense. And I thought that Get Up would be kind of funny because, you know, when you think Get Up, you think get up in the morning, obviously. And then you think like, you know, anything knocks you down, you get back up. And then I was also thinking get your dick up. You with me? This is your Viagra, right? This is sexually arousing noise. Like that's like what's happening in your ears, in your eyes, in every single orifice. If you can consume this in every orifice, I recommend that you would consume this alongside me. You would consume the Great Jamaican ginger beer alongside me. That way you can join me on this flavor journey as long as the visual element, the sound element, and then there is no smells going on aside from if I, you know, would open up my shirt. You know, if I opened up my shirt and I started kind of wafting the air about, I would get stinky. It would be circulating, and it would be possible to create a scent vortex with everything that would escape from my body. But lucky for you, smell-o-vision does not exist. That would be like smelling your television. Like you could walk up to your television and smell it. But what I'm saying is smell-o-vision would be like you're watching a movie and Jack gives Rose, I guess this is a Titanic, I guess smell-o-vision, you're smelling you're smelling the sweat during the scene where Rose is like, paint me like one of your French girls, and then if I was Jack, I would be sweating, and I'm sure he was, and I'm sure Tom Cruise, no, it was Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm sure he was sweating at the time too, because not only does he have to paint this lady in this movie, but he's also on a movie set, so he has to perfectly paint this woman in front of everybody. And hopefully he's been trained on painting skills, because if I was, if I was hired, if I was enlisted for a movie where I was supposed to paint, I would probably take some painting classes. How does that even work? Like because I'm sure they didn't actually ask him to paint, because can you imagine if they had Leonardo DiCaprio just like, shit, sorry guys, like I really just don't understand the feminine shape when it comes to like illustration. He's got the butt down, he's got the shoulders, and he gets kind of the outline of the face, and then it's just like line, curved line for like a happy face on it. And the director, I guess, is James Cameron. It's not even on set. He's in his own like deep ocean submarine. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake, why did I hire this guy? How will this movie ever be the highest grossing movie of all time? Which I'm sure he wonders on every single one of the sets that he's on. I think that does he know? Is he like a gold miner, in the sense that like he knows that he's digging up gold? And does every director feel like that? Like I feel like if you are in the correct creative space, you probably when you're doing a masterpiece. It looks so good. A masterpiece that you should feel like you are digging for gold, right? I feel is that like a recognizable feeling, like the feeling that what you are doing right now is the dopest shit. And does that feeling even exist? Like I've done some dope shit in my time, but when I'm doing it, I guess I'm more. There's that flow state, that the whole flow state thing. My friend Yaron has been studying the flow state. I don't know if you have heard of the flow state, but it's a zone that your mind goes into during a peak performance state, where basically you are not inside your head anymore, and a lot of what's going on is being steered by your subconscious and by muscle memory. Huh? Cool, huh? So if you're ever trying to learn, if you're ever learning how to get out of your own way, if that's something that you want to learn, then check out flow state. So James Cameron is in the gold rush flow state inside of his deep space, deep sea, deep ocean, deep water horizon submarine. He's got like adrenaline syringes in his freaking arm. He's doing cocaine because directors do that. But if you're a young child watching this, then directors don't do that. But he's got a needle in both arms. He's got the adrenaline going, and he's just like, oh, this feels so good. We're getting gold. And then Leonardo DiCaprio is like, hey Jim, because people always do this. There are famous people, and people call them different names because they think that it makes them seem closer to the person. People who call Robin Williams Bob Williams, or who call James Cameron Jim Cameron, or people who call Olivia Newton-John Olivia Newton-Non. What are you jooting on, huh? What does that even mean? I'm going to take a sip. And we're just going to abandon that. But I wish I knew where that story was going. It took us all the way from Leonardo DiCaprio on the Titanic painting, James Cameron shooting adrenaline flow state, and I got lost. I got lost in the weeds. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Oh, and who calls Jim Carrey James Carrey? Does probably not Jimothy. Does he prefer to be called that? Why doesn't he just call himself that in the movies? I guess I guess maybe you want some sort of separation from the character and from who he is, right? Because there's plenty of entertainment avenues and interviews where he's like, like, it's so tough being creative and so funny all the time. Everyone expects a funny joke from you whenever you open your mouth. It's hard to be on all the time. I get that, right? Robin Williams got that. Jim Carrey gets that. And I definitely run into that problem, right? Because I identify with having high energy and making people laugh. And that is an ego identification with a temporary state, right? Have I talked about this before? Don't know. But basically, if you ever identify yourself with a temporary state or an emotion, the second that you are not that thing, then you feel like you're lost and you feel like you are not yourself anymore, which is not true. Like, whenever you're feeling any emotion, you are still you. You are always you at the end of the day. That was kind of a period that I just navigated through. I kind of dipped into a little bit of I guess you would say like more like a depressive period. I wouldn't necessarily call it depression per se, but I would say like it was a tougher time. So I was kind of going through a lot of new processes. Like, I got this cool new job as a server, and I'm lazy as fuck. Like, I don't like working. I like work. I will give you my heart and my soul. I will give you my teeth. I will give you an imprint of my rectum. That's how much of myself I'll give you on a film set, or if I'm doing a comedy act, or anything in the entertainment realm. But outside of that, gross. Ugh. I don't have fun with the day job, and people say, no, nobody has fun doing a day job, but damn, I'm lazy and entitled. So it makes doing these things. So it's been kind of a process of dealing with my own entitlement and also adjusting to a new job. Being a server, that's like a brand new skill. Talk about being on all the time. Like, when you're a server, hey guys, hey, what can I get you? Hey guys, my name's Josh. I'm gonna be your server for today. And what can I get you for some drinks? You want some of my spit? Like if you turn on too hard, then you say some shit like that. So it's like you gotta be on all the time, but don't make pee poo poo jokes. But at the same time, be flavorful and earn the tips. Right? I didn't know how much servers made tips until I became a server myself. And then I realized, I was like, oh shit. This is where the money is. This is how people afford to do these jobs and to not do other jobs. Like, I'm just working weekends and I'm making decent money between like the normal wage and the tips. Pretty dope. So, any takeaways from that? Probably not, but tip your servers. And I also just tip even when I get the breadsticks from Domino's Pizza, because anytime I'm given the option for a tip, I feel like a dick if I go the extra mile to say no. Because it's like, hey, would you like to tip for the Domino's Pizza Parmesan bites? Your options are 10%, 15%, and 1,000%. I'm like, oh, cool, 1,000%. That, what is that? And then there's option number 4, which is next, and then that takes you to like custom tip options and stuff, and the no. So it's easiest to just tip, and I think that whoever designed the chip readers, the little beep beep boop boops that you put your card into, that's a genius invention. Like, can you imagine if they applied that into other areas of finance, of places where you spend your money? Like, imagine if you if you went on a bus and it was like, okay, your options are, you can pay the adult fare, the child fare, or fare plus. And this example does not hold up. So I just reached a dead end with that, and I'm probably a little bit rusty talking in front of the camera. Maybe not. Maybe I didn't even need to address this, but it's been a little bit. Like I had that one podcast with Meg Iyer that was really awesome. She was a dope ass skater girl who came. She was prior friends with Jovy, and that was a dope ass podcast. But before that, I think I took like 2 or 3 weeks off the podcast, and like in that time, things were a little crazy. Like, you know, the new job, right? Oh, I was talking about the depressive period, like the new job. And that's it. Like, that's really it. That's why. And then I guess coronavirus, and then, you know, my eyes are just glued to Twitter with all the Black Lives Matter stuff going on. Like I am doing a lot of listening and a lot of learning. Like I think that I have had the opportunity and the, I wouldn't necessarily say pleasure, but the privilege of being able to encounter biases of my own, and then also just, you know, I guess ways that systematic racism has like kind of driven my vocabulary. Like I guess there are, I'm trying to be as careful as possible in the way that I phrase this, but I guess there's just like, I don't know, some jokes that I used to make are turned out to not be that cool. I was learning from that, but basically between learning the new job, coronavirus is still happening. You know, it's pandemic season, and things are still, and then Twitter's blown up, all the civil rights stuff going on Twitter. Then I found out that there was a lot of really crazy like pedophilia shit going on in the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate community. Whoa, like that was some crazy shit. If you're curious about what happened there, look into it. But basically, it's just a lot of things involving adults and minors, and a lot of the top players, a lot of top players in the community got exposed and then basically lynched and kicked out of the community. So kind of just like kicked out a bunch of guys from there. And then I found out, this is not chronological, by the way, but then the Chris D'Elia stuff came out. Shit, what the fuck, dude? Like he was my number one inspiration for doing the podcast. Like, sure, I watched Joe Rogan, I love Theo Vaughn, I love Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, like I love all those guys in that podcast sphere. But what really inspired me to do a podcast, especially like a solo podcast where I'm just like in front of a camera talking my shit, like that was Chris D'Elia. He inspired me, and like he inspires me comedically. And damn, what the fuck, dude? And I hope the allegations aren't true, but also at the same time, I sympathize with the victims and all that. But fuck, damn, like this is how people must have felt when Bill Cosby came out as like one of the worst like serial rapists of like all time. Except for I'm feeling like a tiny bit of that, as opposed to like, you know, the offenses are dramatically different, but shit, like I don't know. Between everything that's been happening, it's been more difficult than usual to stay positive, to keep the energy up and things like that. And it made me realize like how important it is to stay on top of your mental health. So for me, that's like my morning routine. That's why I don't make a whole lot of plans in the mornings, because I have this whole wonderful routine that gives me this energy. It helps me. It helps me stay vibrant. It helps me stay positive, and it kind of just it reinforces my belief in myself, and that is my number one tool in these fields that I'm going into, in podcasting and comedy and acting. Like my confidence and my belief in myself is one of my greatest assets, and the morning routine is a huge part of that. And I wanted to share with you guys like a little part of the morning routine. Oh, I just got a match on Tinder. Speaking of that, we're going to talk about the love life in a little bit. Holy moly. But so I wake up, and first things first, huge poop. And that is perfect. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, the poop does happen, but that is not a part of me doing anything for my mental health. It's just I'm just full of poop when I wake up. But so I wake up, and I do a 10-minute meditation on the Sam Harris Waking Up app. And that is freaking fantastic because, I love meditation. I've been meditating for many, many, many years now. When I say many, 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 I mean like 5 years. And a lot of that was unguided until, I guess, a year and a half ago, whenever the Waking Up app came out. And I heard about it and I tried it out and I just fell in love immediately. Because it's a lot of the things I find repel me from meditation is the spiritual aspect of it. I don't buy into it. I'm maybe I lack the imagination. Maybe my imagination is somewhere else. I'm thinking of a three-legged giraffe who's got swords crossed on its back, and it's friends with Casey from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe, and together they're on an adventure trying to put the hockey mask on the giraffe, and to see if people would believe that Casey has turned into a giraffe. That's where I use my imagination. But the religion stuff just kind of loses me. Like it's hard to stay with it. And then what Sam Harris does is he takes kind of the philosophies of that, and he, for lack of a better description on my part, what he calls it is spirituality without religion. And that's really cool for me. Now, I don't listen to a whole lot of other stuff that Sam Harris does, and I've heard from other people that he's got some pretty whack philosophies. But what I know of him is I've seen him on the Joe Rogan. I think I've heard him on Tim Ferriss, and I really enjoy his meditation app. So if you have been looking to get into meditation, this is not an ad. This is not. I guess it's just like a free endorsement. Check it out. Like try the free consultation, or not a consultation, but like a free trial with it, and it might blow your fucking mind. So, I wake up and I do that 10-minute meditation, and then I journal. And I used to journal on these small little journals, and that's that. But now I journal on this huge thing, and it lets me, like, I love having just a huge blank page to just vomit all of my thoughts onto. It really helps me set myself up for the day. And journaling is a huge thing for me because it helps me kind of organize my thoughts about things that are going on in my life. And I'll usually get up and I'll journal about the previous day. And then how I'm feeling emotionally, and try and ground myself, because you don't always wake up at an emotional zero. Some days you wake up and you are ecstatic and you're excited to start the day, and then other days it's like you wake up and it's hard to get out of bed, and it's not fair, right? But what you can do is figure out how to find zero. And for me, the meditation and the journaling, and then the other stuff I'm about to talk about, that helps me find my zero. And that's what helps me bring my best energy into the day. So I journal. And before that, I have this little chalkboard thing. And that's what I wanted to bring up. That's why I picked up my phone in the first place. Was I wanted to show you guys the chalkboard that I have in my room. So this chalkboard, I look at it every single morning, and it is full of quotes and things that inspire me, and things that I feel like I need to read or read every day, and it helps kind of arm me for the battle, the metaphorical battle. Like, I'm about to go out and fight the goblins of the day, and I got the swords and the inspirational quotes, and it's gonna help me out. And I'm just gonna read through it really quick. So. At the top of the chalkboard, it says, "Win the morning, win the day." Like, I think that in the morning, it can be the toughest time to have self-control. I think that if you can find the power in your mind and in your will to have self-control in your morning, then it sets you up for the rest of the day. If you can conquer the morning, you can do basically anything. That's the same way I feel about doing the hill run. So win the morning, win the day. Here's a pretty important one. Happiness is a choice, so make decisions. Like, choose to be happy. Choose to view things in a positive light, or at least in a constructive light. Like, I'm not asking anyone to be unreasonably optimistic about everything, but, try and view the world in a way that favors your mindset, I guess. There's another, the quote beneath it kind of helps you understand it. This is a quote I heard from Tony Robbins. He said, life is happening for us, not to us. Like the things that happen in our life, if we choose to view them as things that we can learn from and utilize and grow from, that is a growth mindset that will take you to where you want to be. Sure, there's the hard work you got to put in, the determination, everything, blah, 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 blah. But I find it's empowering to view life as something that is happening for you, not to you. Because if life is happening to you, there's no involvement. Like, or how do I say that? I hope you guys understand. I don't know exactly how to put this one into words. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. But interpret that however you wish. Here's one that I really needed to hear. Achieving the extraordinary is not a linear process. Success isn't reaching your current idea of success is not an A to B journey. It's full of ups and downs and lefts and rights, and you're zigging and zagging and going forwards and back, and you're going in and out, and you're doing everything right and then doing everything wrong and forgetting all the lessons and remembering them and loving yourself, hating yourself. The path to achieving the extraordinary, which all of us can aspire to do, is not a linear process. And hearing that kind of comforts me on my journey, because I feel like where I want to be and the things that I want to accomplish are extraordinary things. Here's one that yoga taught me. It's relax into tension. Whenever you feel any kind of tension in your body or tension in your mind, the answer is not to tense into it in response. The answer is to relax. And then another philosophy that I've heard regarding this is that force met by non-resistance defeats itself. And take that as you will. I can't think of any examples regarding that. Do not give all thoughts equal weight. We think of some fucked up shit regarding ourselves, other people, our lives. We think about quitting. We think about our success. We think about everything. There are so many places that our mind wanders throughout the day, and a lot of where your mind goes is not in your control. What is in your control, if you believe in free will, I guess, is what you choose to do with those thoughts, how you choose to believe them or not believe them, and how you choose to act as a person. And if you are troubled by any kind of thoughts that you're having, you might be giving too much weight to thoughts that don't need that. So, if you're thinking too much about, a girl, you're wishing that a girl would text you. You're full of desires for someone to reach out to you, to validate you. Those desires that are happening inside of you, you don't need to give them energy. And so armed with that, we're going to move into the next one. Oh, I like this one. If you can't have chocolate, don't have it in the damn house. Like, if you're not supposed to drink alcohol, don't buy it. Don't have it anywhere accessible, because if it is anywhere close to you, you're gonna cheat on your diet. You're gonna whatever. You're gonna break your rules. So if you're watching your diet, or you're trying not to drink alcohol or coffee or whatever, don't have it in the house, because you're gonna sneak it. You're gonna get it if you can. Here's a big one. Fail forward. Each shitty idea is a building block to a good idea. This is a tough one. I've noticed in my journaling. Whoa, we just talked about this. Sip. Whoa, I'm drinking ginger beer, and sometimes it's a little harsh. I have a tendency to hold on to my failures. I think that when I am on a path towards a goal, I have one of my self-destructive tendencies or toxic traits is that I like to take my failures from behind me and I like to throw them back in my way and then encounter them or whatever. And I don't know where that comes from. I know it's not a helpful mentality because, in my opinion, like, failure is something that you encounter, right? It's inevitable. You will make mistakes, and I've accepted that as part of the journey. And the purpose of a mistake or failure is to learn from it, and by learning from it, you can make sure that it doesn't happen again. And then if it does happen again, then you figure it out, blah 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 blah. But you don't need to keep throwing your own mistakes back in your face. And I noticed this in myself when I was training at the parkour gym at Origins, and I was working on double side flips, and I did one into the foam pit where I totally fucking necked it. Like I lost where I was in the air, let go of my tuck, and I landed neck first onto this mat inside the foam pit. It was really unpleasant. But the real hit was to my mentality, because I got out. I was like, okay, so that's that. And I went to go practice some other things. And I noticed that when I would talk to other people around the gym, I couldn't stop bringing up the fact that I had necked in the foam pit. Bro, just leave it behind. Just put that shit. The battery died. Oh, shit. Oh, so I gotta slouch a little bit. Okay. The camera died, so that's that. That's never happened. That hasn't happened in a while. So, okay. Anyway, yeah, just don't learn from your failures and then leave them behind you. Don't keep throwing them back in the path. Don't put more unnecessary obstacles in front of you, because you're gonna encounter obstacles no matter what, right? I don't know why I'm saying right, like someone's gonna answer. And then I'm gonna fire through these last ones pretty quickly. Just start with one brick is like if there is a tough task ahead of, so there's a quote. Just start with one brick. And it's a story that I heard, and I forget who told the story, but there was this person who was running an art class, and the task was to paint something from their hometown. And for this project, one of the students in the class didn't know how to begin. She was paralyzed. She was so troubled. She didn't know how to start this. Like the gargantuan nature of the task was defeating her. Like, imagine you've got big dreams and they're so big that they freak you out into paralysis. So the teacher's remedy for that was take one aspect of your town. Think about a building. Think about one building. And think about the outside of that building. And just start by painting one brick of that building. And that student came back the next day and had a full-fledged, beautiful painting. But basically what that means is all it takes is one tiny step to start the process of working towards the things that you want. And the next thing, be your own rock star life coach / conscience. Break free of cycles designed to keep you circulating, like social media. Social media is designed to just keep you in it forever. There's like people who design slot machines that design the home feeds on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and they're designed to just keep you trapped inside. So figure out what cycles and areas of your life have been designed to just trap you in them, and break free and just live and build shit and do things. Have the will to live outside your comfort zone. You're not gonna get anything done inside your comfort zone. Sure, you'll never encounter any difficulty. You'll never encounter resistance, but resistance is a part of the path to success and to like it's an inherent part of the pathway to building your dreams. So just have the will to live outside your comfort zone, because if you have that willingness, then you have the will to achieve whatever it is you set your mind to do. Improve every day. You are your own coach. Take immediate action on ideas. That's a good one. Like, we have a lot of ideas that kind of just fall into our heads throughout the day, and then we just kind of disregard them. Or, like you have like a really cool idea and it makes you laugh. Like it's a funny joke or it's a cool video or something like that. And you're like, oh, that's cool. Write it down. Or start preparing for it if you can, if you have the leisure of free time. Just whenever an idea comes into your head, and it's something that you could potentially act on and enjoy, do something about it. Write a script for it. Write down a basic structure of the idea. Do something that sets that idea in motion, and then maybe momentum will keep it going. I don't know. That's just kind of a thought I just added at the end. Look people in the eye and listen. Eye contact is hard, right? We live in a very technologically reliant society where we're so used to being disconnected and to jump in and out of conversations and to approach social interactions with a degree of detachment, and then it makes connecting with people in real life a lot more difficult. And it's just a good reminder for me to look people in the freaking eye and really connect with what they're saying. I have a hard time listening. I'm ADD as fuck. Like, you guys listen to this, I'll start a story and then all of a sudden I'm playing with a bottle cap and then I'm gonna put it inside my ear and it's gonna come out my bum and then I take it and I throw it at the TV or something, and like so. Like, it's just a reminder that you learn a lot from listening, right? Not from talking. Like happiness, confidence, and charisma are a choice. A little callback to the start, but you can choose to be confident and have charisma if you have the skills to read the room, which that's a really tough skill to teach someone. But if you've learned those skills over time, you can read the room, you can kind of feel out a social interaction. Choose to be confident and have charisma. Or you can choose to shut up and listen. But use transformational vocabulary. So what transformational vocabulary is like, we have a set vocabulary for how we think about the world, right? I think about the world in terms of like I use words to think about the world, and also pictures, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when you're thinking about the world and you have that vocabulary, you get to choose what those words are. Sure, it's like there is a habit, right? Like a lot of these words are habitually selected, but if you find that a word that you are using to refer to something is disempowering or makes you feel negatively about something that maybe you don't need to feel negatively about, or you're just kind of feeling shitty about things that are happening, like those people who are always talking about bummers, like things that are just bumming them out and stuff. That's a choice. You don't need to be bummed out by everything, right? Like you get to choose what words you use to describe the world around you. So choose good words. It takes bravery to be yourself and to be funny. It's freaky sitting in front of a camera and setting up the lights, and it's also freaky to get up on a stage and tell jokes, and it's freaky to prepare an audition and send it in and then and probably never hear back about it. Like it takes a lot of bravery to pursue the dreams that you have, that I have, that anyone has. It takes a certain amount of bravery, but it's that encountering that inherent fear and overcoming it that leads to achieving those goals. Nobody will build your dreams for you. I'm entitled as fuck. It's something that I deal with, and it's nobody's fault, but my own. Like if that is a problem that I encounter, it's up to me to overcome that. And part of like one of my kind of deeper flaws is sometimes I just expect things to come to me. Maybe that's part of being like a privileged middle class, like upper middle class white guy. Right? This could be like some kind of I don't even know where to go with that, but basically sometimes I feel like things will just come to me, and sometimes it's been that way. But that's not what gets you to that's not what's going to get me to where I want to be. I want to be a comedian, and I want to be an actor, and I want to have a podcast with a lot of reach. And I want to have all these cool creative platforms where I just get to be myself and express myself and to be cool and crazy, but sometimes inspirational and sometimes just talking to people and trying to be real. And no one's going to do that for me. And that's why I do this podcast by myself. I do it all myself. And just know that nobody will build your dreams for you. Don't wait for your ship to come in. That's what one of my acting coaches, John, would say is, don't wait for your ship to come in. Build your ship. Like a lot of people say when they're waiting for their acting career to take off. They're like, I'm waiting for my ship. I'm waiting for my ship to come in. Build your ship. Build your own ship. Because if you're waiting for a ship to come in and pick you up, you don't get to choose what kind of ship it is. You can get picked up by a pirate ship, and not a cool pirate ship. It could be like one of those like Somalian pirate ships. Where like I only say Somalian pirate because I'm thinking of like South Park, but or it could be a cruise ship full of COVID, or it could be like it could be anything. But if you build your ship, then that's dope. You know every inch of that ship. You know how that ship works. You know how to sail that ship. That's your ship. Build your ship. No one's gonna build your ship for you. And if they do, then there's not a high chance of it being a perfect ship. And the last thing is consumerism will not make you happy. That is like sometimes when I'm feeling down, I'll just buy myself some shoes, or I'll like go on Amazon and buy some books or something like that. But a lot of the time, these impulse buys, I cycle through them pretty quick. Like, you know, I'll buy like a cool golf wang shirt, like a cool cheetah print green thing, and I'll wear it for a few days and be like, well, I paid $150 for this, and that didn't last me that long. And then a shirt that I'll make for myself or thrift will last me a lot longer. So what I've learned from that is like, dude, don't be doing those impulse buys. So that's the chalkboard that I look at every morning when I wake up, and that chalkboard changes. And that was kind of a long explanation. So if you stuck through it, then awesome. And you know, if you've got the money and you've been looking for ways to energize yourself to start your day with a full battery, unlike my camera which died, get a chalkboard of your own. Like you can buy like a roll of stick on your wall chalkboard and a chalk pen. And just write some shit and look at it every morning, and you know, make it shit that empowers you, because I don't think that I would have the power or the confidence in myself if I didn't do things like that. If I didn't wake up, meditate, look at that chalkboard, journal, go for my run, and then take a hot cold undulation shower. Because I did cold showers for like a full year, and that was really freaking tough, because it was fine when I would be in Vancouver. I always point this way, like Vancouver's this way, but like you guys are all over the world. So out there is Vancouver. But you know, I it would be easy to take a cold shower when I'm just chilling in Vancouver. But then I would go and visit Calgary for like 3 weeks at a time in the dead of winter, and I'd be like, well, I am committing to these 365 days of taking cold showers, and I have to start the water cold, and damn, and I did it. But towards the end, it was like, I don't want to shower for 3 days because I don't want to deal with the cold water. So I do hot cold undulation showers now. Like some days I'll start the water cold, and that's like a nice shock to kind of wake me up. And then I have this mantra in my head that I got from the chess prodigy, Tai Chi Chuan champion, whatever else he does, business consultant, Josh Waitskin. He used to give his son cold baths, and he was trying to teach his son to not regard cold water as something negative. And I forget the exact mentality behind that, but there's something powerful behind that I really connected with. And what he would have his child say is, "It's so good." So I'll be in the shower and I'll turn on the cold water and I'll just say out loud, "It's so good. It's so good." And I just smile. I can't help but smile when that happens. So that's the morning routine that I go through, and frick yeah. Okay, bye everyone. Just kidding. Part of the morning routine one of the challenges that I've been encountering recently is that I don't think I can eat spicy stuff anymore. Like, period. Like, I think that like I had some biological clock and time's up. and like I'm sterile for spicy food. Like I can't do it anymore. It upsets my stomach so much, and a lot of how I feel, like I feel like I'm really in tune with my body and what goes on in it. And when my body's upset, I get pretty upset. And I've been noticing that the instant I eat spicy food now, my stomach gets really upset, and then the next day I'm kind of emo. So I've been experimenting with not eating spicy food, which sucks, dude. Like I freaking love spicy everything. I love vinegar. I love the spice. I love the feeling. And like I remember like being in a mall in Las Vegas and just being like, oh cool, there's just a little cart where you could try the hottest hot sauce in the world. Give me it. I'll drink it. I'll drink a whole bottle, whatever. But now it's like, damn. Like I used to shake my head at people that didn't drink spicy things or didn't eat spicy things. But now I'm one of them. Whoa, tables have turned, huh? So that's something that I've been kind of dealing with. I decided to go substance free for a little bit, like after my work training. Like you probably saw in episode 10. If you haven't, go watch it. But part of the training was we had to taste test like the drinks that we serve at the place, and from there I kind of went off the rails by my definition with alcohol and stuff. Like I did some partying, going out for drinks with people and stuff, and I noticed that like I don't feel good for like the next day. And it's not even like a hangover. It's like a mental hangover where I'm just like, I don't have the will to do the difficult things that I want to do. And I don't need to feel like that. So I've been kind of cutting out alcohol, or at least like regular alcohol use. Like I think like if a party comes up, I'll do that. But I'm not going to be drinking around the house anymore, because that like, damn, like, yeah, alcohol is a depressant, right? Like everyone always says that when I'm like, yeah, alcohol makes me feel so bad. They're like, oh, well, alcohol is a depressant. Like, yeah, but we still drink it and have good times. But the negative has started outweighing the positive, right? It's like a brief good time with my friends. It's great. It's energizing. It's fun. But then the next day I'm like, I just want to lay in bed. I don't do that, but that's how I feel. And so I decided to just kind of detach myself from caffeine because I was feeling pretty anxious and getting a poor sleep. And then I detached myself from alcohol for a little bit. And then today is actually my first day being back to drinking caffeine. Like I just had like a little bit from the supplement. I thought I was going to take a month off, but I was feeling like I kind of recentered myself. I'm feeling pretty good now, and I'm back into the caffeine. But I'm going to try and like approach it with a reasonable mindset. But if you've been having issues with caffeine, or with your sleep, that's what it was. I was having issues with my sleep. If you've been having issues with your sleep and like, I don't know, waking up multiple times a night and you drink lots of coffee, try just like not drinking it for a while. You know? If it makes you feel bad, then don't. At the end of the day, that is that. That's about it, really. Like I had some other topics. Like I guess I could talk about my love life, but I haven't thought it through enough to make it funny or understandable or inspirational or anything like that. And I haven't really thought it through enough to like make it interesting. But being in love's kind of weird, right? I wouldn't say I'm in love. I guess I was just like kind of like, I found myself in a deep attachment for a person. And one thing I kind of forgot about like feeling love or feeling attached to a person is like, there's like, you get really emotional over people. Like when you're attached to someone, then you're not hanging out with them. You're like, shit, I want to be with this person all the time. And then what if the other person doesn't feel like that? What if they're not ready for commitment? Relatable? But anyway, that's just yeah, I guess the start of this was kind of funny. And then it got inspirational, and I talked about chalkboard for a little bit. and I think that's that. So thanks everybody for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out the podcast on Spotify. And you can just kind of take me wherever you want. You can just listen to me talk my shit. Maybe I'll be a lot funnier. Maybe I'll go through some funny situations a little bit more next time. But maybe I won't talk about chalkboard for the whole time. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me on episode 13. Hopefully not an unlucky one. And yeah, love your friends, love yourself, and punch me. Don't actually punch me. Bye now. Bye.